So we go to the fourth quarter. Al Michaels, Chris Collins, Rick Michelle Tafoya. Here it is again now. They changed the rule, the Bert Emanuel rule, they called it, about 12, 13 years ago. If you control the ball can hit the ground, which it does there. And it's legal. Same thing as a receiver. If the guy makes a catch, whether it's a catch or an interception, doesn't matter. Ball controlled by Wilcox. Play stands, and Dallas takes over at the 43-yard line of Philadelphia. Tony Romo will give the ball to Murray, and Murray with a big hole this time, all the way down to the 28-yard line. So they have held him in check, but of late now, 84 yards for him. Restating the importance of this one, the winner moves into first place. They will have split the season series. The way the NFC is going right now, Eagles go to Washington and New York, so they take a train and a bus. Cowboys go home against Indianapolis and at Washington, and the Cowboys can't win the division if they have the same number of wins as the Eagles. So hugely important for both teams, in particular for the Dallas Cowboys. No gain from Murray over the right side. Matthews makes the tackle, second down.
One of the things that Philadelphia thought was so important, especially in that first matchup, was they were able to displace that offensive line on some of those stretch running plays. And that time with Doug Free on the sideline, they pushed Jeremy Parnell back into the backfield for no gain.
Murray 25 carries tonight, 83 yards. Second and 10. Romo dumps it underneath. Murray to the 25-yard line. Again, Casey Matthews makes the tackle. And for DeMarco Murray, who's carried the ball 25 times, his first reception of the night.
He's got to be careful about swinging this ball out away from his body. He had 5 fumbles early in the year. Hasn't fumbled in the last 5 games, I believe it is. But he and LaShawn McCoy both have had a few issues with out in the pass.
Third and 7. Blitz. Romo going deep for Bryant. Touchdown. 3 touchdown catches tonight for Dez Bryant, and they beat Bradley Fletcher again, this time for 25 yards.
All 3. You want to play bump and run, you want to play man coverage, you got to take on the superstar. They have figured out a way. They have aligned over Bradley Fletcher all night, and Dez Bryant is killing him. Safety, no way to get that far over the top. And this place that was a party in a box about 15 minutes ago has gone deadly silent.
First touchdown hat trick of Bryant's career. Extra point is good. And the Dallas Cowboys have reassumed control. 35-24 in Philadelphia. Tonight's aerial coverage is being brought to you by Geico. Beautiful shot of downtown Philadelphia, City Center. City Hall right there. Dez Bryant with 3 touchdowns, 12:48 to go in the fourth. And Bailey's kick. And Huff will down it in the end zone.
Dez Bryant on the outside looking in, sees Bradley Fletcher over him. What does Tony Romo say? Thumbs up, baby. We're going after him one more time. Let's go get number 3. Safety in the middle of the field. Fletcher just no match tonight. 13 touchdowns for Dez Bryant, now matching his career high. And remember the scene before the game when Malcolm Jenkins and he were exchanging pleasantries on the field. Not so pleasant tonight for Bradley Fletcher.
Now for the 20-yard line. Sanchez under pressure, loses his balance, goes down at the 9-yard line. Be an 11-yard sack. Tyrone Crawford coming through the middle.
Tyrone Crawford has really become a force inside, but this is what the Cowboys were hoping for. Even though they're running a play-action fake, because of the lead now, you take that a little bit less seriously. Crawford gets in and comes up with a sack.
Makes it 2nd down and 21. And the Cowboys only rush 3. And the pass is caught on the run, and breaking free is Josh Huff. And Carr will track him down, but not until he reaches midfield and beyond. So it was 2nd down and 21. And Huff makes a huge play.
This is a young man that was hurt early in the year, and a lot of people wondered why he hasn't had a bigger role, a bigger part of this offense.
Sideline interference. Defense, substitute number 55. 15-yard penalty added it into the play. 1st down.
And that's the Dallas sideline. So there he goes. Sideline interference is what the call was.
If the referee can't run freely down the boundary and runs into a player or a coach in that white marked off area, then it is a foul. And usually it happens on plays like that when they break away.
And that's Carter on the bench. Here's Huff. It's 44 yards.
Right over here.
There's McLean right there on the sideline, impeding the official. So they march it off down to the 32-yard line. And the Eagles give the ball to McCoy for a gain of 1. McLean makes the tackle.
You just wonder where the Cowboys would have been this season without Rolando McClain. Of course, Sean Lee injured and a non-factor this year. Rolando McClain out of football a year ago. They make a preseason trade to get him, and he has been the man. He really runs this defense. They say he is the intellectual cog out there.
The fake pass too high.
Oh, baby.
Trying for Selleck.
Yeah, the old Bluebirds coming out on that one. Pretty wide open with Selleck here.
Yeah.
Got to be able to hit that one.
Of course, every 3rd down now becomes pretty vital. 3rd down and 9. If they were stymied here and trying to kick a field goal.
Timeout.
First of all, Philadelphia takes a timeout, so each has used 1. You know, Chris, you brought up that Philadelphia Inquirer action figure, the Tony Romo cartoon. There was also a column written by Mike Sealski today. One of the columnists talking about if the defensive backs don't have a decent night, in particular Bradley Fletcher, look out. That was quite prescient.
Yeah, and it really is, because you know what you're going to get with the Philadelphia Eagles defensively. They're going to challenge you. They're going to play that man coverage. And eventually somebody has to take Dez Bryant. And tonight, Dez Bryant has just been too much for Fletcher on the outside. Nice catch there, and it's been this same play twice over for touchdowns at about the same spot on the field. Be careful about firing up old Dez before the game even starts.
Now 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. The pass is caught, but short of the 1st down to the 25-yard line. That's Zach Ertz.
Boy.
So it's
you got to kick it here.
4th and 3. I think you do, because you make it an 11-point game, an 8-point game. So it's still a 1-possession game.
And a lot of time, as we've already seen from this Eagles offense, they have the ability to fly up and down the field in a hurry. 11 minutes to go. They're not afraid of that kind of lead.
This will be a 43-yard attempt here. Cody Parkey. And his kick is good to tack on 3 more, make it a 1-possession lead. 35-27 with 10:45 to go in Philadelphia. Tonight football brought to you by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Nissan, innovation that excites. And by Pepsi, hype your hometown with Pepsi at Pepsi.com. The Barnes Foundation here in Philadelphia, housing some works by artists like Renoir, Picasso, and Matisse. How are you with the paint by numbers? You any good?
That's stick figures only, my man.
Me too. Put a little cotton on the top. It's fielded on the run, and Dwayne Harris had to reach down for it and gets popped out of bounds at the 20-yard line. These two guys, Murray and Bryant, the centerpieces of that offense, gaining more than 60% of the yards from scrimmage. You go back to Tiki Barber and Plexico Burris back in 05, and tonight 83 rushing yards, 2 TDs for Murray, and 99 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns for Des Bryant. So they have accounted for the 35 Dallas points.
I remember talking to Des earlier in the year. He said, hey, we heard all the people making fun of the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. It motivated us. It helped us train in the offseason. And here they are. If they can hang on here on the brink of doing something great this year.
From the 20-yard line. Murray. You know, Chris, it's the first time. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's go to Michelle right now.
Well, Eagles linebacker Trent Cole went to get an X-ray on his left hand. Out, he is questionable. Brandon Graham has replaced him for the time being.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Graham, number 55. And there he is. Fifth-year linebacker out of Michigan, who was the #1 pick back in 2010.
Yeah, no drop-off there. They rotate 3 guys on the outside. The issue now for the Eagles defensively is they've already defended 63 plays. I think it was 84-85 against Seattle. So they might be wearing down. The running game might become more and more effective for the Cowboys here late.
Well, this is the Cowboys' 64th play. And it's Dunbar, and Dunbar will take the ball to the 29, setting up a key 3rd and 1. You know, Chris, talking about the guys feeling a little bit disrespected, like a lot of players do. But it's the first time in 5 years I can remember the Cowboys. Very little was expected of them. They're always underperforming, and this year they're overperforming what the expectations were.
I think even Jerry Jones made the comment that, well, we may not be so good. I mean, I think he was wondering what kind of ball club he was going to have. But I think the draft choice, Zach Martin, and this offensive line, the way they played, has been the difference.
3 straight years of 8-8. Now they've already won 9. You look at Garrett in the last year of his contract. And here is Murray, and Murray just tries to keep those legs going. And where are they going to spot the ball?
I think so.
The officials coming in from the side, and it's going to be a little bit short of the first down. Big stop. Clock ticks down under 9 minutes, and they're forced to punt.
Big old Benny Logan right here in the middle. They try to go right behind their 2 young star offensive linemen and just don't get there. What a huge stop by the Eagles defensively.
Now Darren Sproles, who can be electrifying. We've been watching him through the years. Back to receive. Jones sends the kick toward the far sideline. Sproles collects it with a fair catch at the 23-yard line. 8.5 to go in the 4th. Dallas by 8. All right, so what happens if you put Vivica A. Fox, Geraldo Rivera, and Terrell Owens in a room together? Well, you can find out on the premiere of The Celebrity Apprentice with Donald J. Trump, premiering January the 4th. Right here on NBC. Right now, the Eagles start from the 23, and this drive begins with a run. And a decent one for a gain of 7 yards by Shady McCoy up to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 3.
Now remember, Mark Sanchez has played in 2 AFC championship games with the Jets, so he is used to this kind of pressure.
On 2nd and 3, McCoy again. McCoy with some room, flagged down. Up to the 37, a pair of flags at the 30-yard line.
Holding, offense number 62. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the center, Jason Kelsey, and there goes the first down.
Yeah, Bruce Carter tried to flip around him, and he just reached out with that right arm. Right here, you'll see as Carter goes around the backside, he reaches out with that right arm, and that hurts.
Back to 2nd down, 2nd and 13 now. Clock on the move under 8 minutes. Here comes Carter on the blitz. They pick it up. The pass is caught. That's a first down. That's Brent Selleck over the middle. The ball taken away from him, but the play was over. Kyle Wilbur came away with the ball, but it belongs to Philadelphia.
Let's see. The ball is moving. Did anything get to the ground?
And we're going to have a challenge.
I think so.
Jason Garrett, he's already challenged once, so this is his final challenge. He, of course, lost that challenge, so they're down to 2 timeouts. They'll be down to 1 if they lose this one.
Fumbled prior to being down by contact. Timeout.
The ball was moving, and he landed on top of the defender.
We'll see where it goes. We're back, and Dallas is going to wind up with the ball because the runner was on top of a Cowboy. You got Selleck here. He goes down on Wilcox. He never hits the ground. The ball comes loose. It's recovered by Wilbur, and right now they're just checking to see where to spot the ball. But Dallas is going to get the ball on the turnover.
The runner lost control of the football prior to being down by contact. It'll be first down for Dallas at the 34-yard line. Please set the game clock to 7 minutes, 48 seconds.
So Garrett
is not charged with a timeout.
Not charged with a timeout. That's their last challenge, though, because they lost the first one. He never touches the ground.
Not a knee, not an elbow, forearm, nothing. And for J.J. Wilcox, that is the second big turnover he's been involved in. And for Selleck, that's one of those bizarre plays. You would say, I was down, but because there was somebody underneath him, he wasn't down.
So the Cowboys already within long field goal range in a 1-possession game that could make it 2 if they get any points here. They start this drive from the 34-yard line. They have Klutz in the game at fullback. Here goes Murray to the outside, and it's another loss. Brandon Graham tackles him behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2, second down and 12.
Brandon Graham has had a sensational year. He really is. He's sort of a role player, 5.5 sacks. But when you try and run to his side, he is like a bowling ball over there. They almost tried to convince him to lose weight to play outside linebacker, and they said, oh, forget it. Just play it the way you like it.
You saw that graphic. Fewest turnovers in Philly history, 19 last year. This year, 32 turnovers already. In this game, number 14, most in the league. Play clock at 3. Second and 12. Romo buying time, fires wide open, making the catch. Dez Bryant, huge night, continues to the 21 and a first down.
Obviously, just a completely blown coverage. Nobody on Dez. They turn and run out here, and here's the guy that's been killing you all night, and there's not anybody within 20 yards. Tough night for the defensive backs of the Philadelphia Eagles.
6 catches, 114 yards, and Romo can begin to work on the timepiece right now. Under 6.5 to play. Takes the clock all the way down. Once again, Murray tackled for another loss behind the line of scrimmage. Again, Brandon Graham.
I'm telling you, this guy's been doing this all season long. Sneaks inside Tyron Smith and makes a play in the backfield. Desperately needed because you would love to see Romo. I was going to say love to see him put the ball in the air, but the way it's been going in the secondary, maybe not.
Well, they've done a good job on Murray tonight, except for that 121-yard scamper. 29 carries, 82 yards. That's less than 3 yards per carry.
We're backing off these receivers now, though.
Second and 14. Again, they milk the clock. Romo fires, and that's incomplete. Flag is down.
Marco Murray held in the backfield.
Holding, offense number 29. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Holding Michael Kendricks, and they're in danger of getting back out of field goal range here.
Yeah, he had a nice initial block. But then as Kendrick started to free himself, Murray just grabbed him over here. The second motion right there is the one he got called for.
So second down and 24. Right now you'd be looking at a 53-yard field goal. Again, a field goal hugely important because it would make it a 2-possession lead. 5.5 to go.
Got Dez down here again.
One-on-one. Pass too high. He had him on an in-cut. And it's 3rd and long. Cary Williams covering on the play. 3rd and 24.
Yeah, and now I think they're starting to follow with Cary Williams. They've seen enough of Bradley Fletcher on Des Bryant, so that's the first time all night we've seen Cary Williams across the field.
So what do you do here? I mean, I'm going for a 10 or 12-yard gain if I'm Dallas just to get Bailey set up.
I'm not even afraid to run the football here. You've got them spread out all over the place. You need 5 or 6 yards to get that second score.
Then Romo under pressure. Look out. Shovel pass to the 31 to Witten. So they gain a few. They get 4, and that's going to set up about a 48, 49-yard attempt for Bailey to try to make it an 11-point game.
Not an issue. He has a long of 56 yards, 5 of 6 from over 50, so plenty of range here. He just couldn't take the sack. Good job by Romo escaping.
Of course, if he misses this one, then Philadelphia will get the ball at its own 39-yard line. And Bailey is true for a 3. Huge field goal. 4:37 to play in regulation. 38-27 Dallas. Hey fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLShop.com today. Save 20% at the official store of the NFL. Already got you a couple of gifts, a couple of books I'm going to send you.
Beautiful.
For Christmas.
Beautiful.
Half price.
What they might be. Got to be top 10 bestsellers, or I don't want them.
Don't want them, right? Shakespeare. Christmas, what, a week from Thursday? And it's down in the end zone as the Eagles now down by 11 points. 4:37. They have 2 timeouts as we head down the stretch.
How about Tony Romo, though, now on the road? 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. Remarkable.
3 touchdown passes tonight, all of them to Des Bryant. Meanwhile, Sanchez now 15 of 24, started cold. A couple of real nice drives and then erased a 21-point deficit, only to see the Cowboys come back, retake the lead. Starts this drive with a pass to Macklin, and Macklin is out of bounds. Right at the marker.
Yeah, Brandon Carr, after giving up that long one down the field, now is giving plenty of cushion here. So Sanchez is going to be able to take some of those short, quick ones, and this offense has enough pace to it. You don't have to really change what you're doing.
From the 30. Sanchez under pressure, spins away a la Romo, and pump fakes, then throws deep downfield, and Riley Cooper is there. That's incomplete, and the Cowboys cover on the play, and Sterling Moore reaches for his back and is down on the grass.
The pump fake, oh my gosh, everybody's down.
Barry Church down as well, injury timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Dallas. The pulse of the game. The Cowboys took a 21-0 lead before Philadelphia scored 24 unanswered points. But then the Cowboys rallied. Des Bryant, the career-high 3 touchdown receptions. Huge night for him. DeMarco Murray into the end zone twice himself. And the Cowboys right now up by 11. It's 2nd down and 10. Moore and Church both shaken on the last play, both out for the moment. And Sanchez gets bottled up and taken down at the 26-yard line. So he hung in the pocket, and then Tyrone Crawford and Jeremy Mincey are both there for the sack.
Here's the coverage down the field. Of course, Carr now in a much better position. Hurts going across the field, maybe a shot. I'm a little surprised they didn't take a look at Tyler Patman with Riley Cooper at the bottom. He was the replacement, didn't even check that side.
3rd and 14. Moore and Church are both back in the game. And Sanchez is going to get sacked at the 13-yard line by Jeremy Mincey. And that's the 4th sack of the night for the Dallas Cowboys.
Jason Peters is coming out right here, and he expects Sanchez to step up. And when Sanchez goes backwards, all the leverage goes away at that point. So you have to, but you take a couple of sacks, and I guess you say, I don't want to step up in there anymore.
So Mincy gets credit for the sack. It's 4th down and 25. Donnie Jones with a low liner that's fair caught at the 41-yard line. So 3:09 remaining. Philadelphia can stop the clock twice, plus the timeout of the 2-minute warning in an 11-point game.
And what would be, I believe, the biggest win of Jason Garrett's career if he could come out of here with one, to see his football team that has been known for falling apart in December. Tony Romo, who's been known for key interceptions late in the year that has hurt this team, to see them blow a 21-point lead and then go right back down the field, retake the lead, not lose their composure, was huge for this organization.
From the 40-yard line. Figures to be Murray time. Hardly had to be a genius to figure it out. Fletcher Cox makes the tackle, and Philadelphia will take a timeout. That's the 11th time tonight that Murray has been held for either no gain or negative yardage.
It's a tough bunch up there. It really is, and we've been talking about it all night. They did the same thing. The difference in this game really was the fact that Tony Romo got something going with the passing game and his mobility. The difference in his mobility in this game and what he was on Thanksgiving Day is night and day, and it probably should have been. Playing on Sunday night, come right back to it Thursday, he wasn't ready. He usually doesn't even practice until Thursday. He skips Wednesday practice, usually practices for the first time on Thursday. He just wasn't ready to play.
2nd and 10. Murray again. He's going to get taken down for the 12th time without gaining yardage. And Philadelphia now, with 3 minutes, will take its final timeout. So the only time the clock will now stop again will be the 2-minute warning. Murray for the season leads the league by plenty. This disaster strikes. He's going to wind up leading it. Running down records for him. Emmitt Smith at 1773, so he's bearing down on that. Might get it next week at home against Indy. Of course, you had Eric Dickerson for 21:05. That would be your mark that's held since the early 80s. 466, best career 3-game stretch. And tonight he's been the workhorse again. 31 carries, only 81 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Had a catch. And for the moment, he'll come out and Lance Dunbar comes in.
Yeah, 1 first down away now, the Dallas Cowboys. Basically almost locking this thing up. Be very difficult from there. 1 first down.
The Eagles out of timeouts, meaning out of challenges, but that's moved in another 60 seconds anyway. With the Dunbar up to the 43-yard line, so the Cowboys will have to punt before the 2-minute warning, but Philadelphia would need 2 scores and do it without a timeout. I agree. This is the big. I was just trying to think of the big wins he's had. I mean, his debut when he took over for Garrett, when he took over for Wade Phillips, was a big win in New York when nobody thought they could win. They beat Seattle earlier this year, but the last 3 years they've gone down to the last game of the season and lost it, and it cost them a chance to go to the playoffs.
To this team, they've lost it.
Yep.
So then to get blown out on Thanksgiving and expectations plummet, and to come back into this building, but just so impressive, because it just felt like, you know what the headlines were going to be. Oh, the Cowboys choke away another 21-point lead. They can't win in December. They can't win the big games. All this kind of stuff. They were pecking away. That was going to be the story. And then they flipped the script. Des Bryant came up with some huge plays down the field. Jason Witten on that drive, but Tony Romo really answered when this crowd was going bananas in here. Calmly took his team down the field to retake the lead.
Up by 11, they punt here. Get a whistle before we get. It's against Dallas. It'll cost them 5.
Start. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So we head west. We go to Glendale, Arizona. The Seattle Seahawks red hot right now against the Arizona Cardinals with Kurt Warner at quarterback. We're about to make the playoffs. Unless this game winds up in a tie, Arizona is in. But the top spot in the West at stake next week. The 23, it is dropped there and then picked back up by Darren Sproles, and they'll start the drive from the 24-yard. 24. I was only half kidding about Kurt Warner. Wasn't there a story this week about Kurt thinking about coming back? You saw that, right?
Nothing would surprise me. Why not? Kurt Warner was pretty good in those late season runs.
You think they would have made him wait 5 more years if he'd come back and played a quarter next week?
Probably.
For the Hall of Fame. But what a job that Bruce Arians has done. Don't know about Stanton. He's week to week with a sprained knee. Lost Palmer for the season. Caught by Riley Cooper. He makes the catch at the 41, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning with exactly 1:57 to play. And the Dallas Cowboys trying to move into the top spot in the NFC East. Volkswagen postgame report. Michelle down on the field with the stars of the game. Bob, Tony, and Mike will break it all down. We'll look ahead to next week's game between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Before we leave here, Brad Sham, one of the really great guys in the business. He's been the voice of the Cowboys except for a brief interim spell since 1979, calling his 750th game. Took over for another great pal, Vern Lundquist, years ago. And 750 football games, and that's intercepted at the 45-yard line, and Brad can send the word all the way back to the Metroplex that Bruce Carter has in effect ended the game and cemented the Dallas Cowboys going into undisputed possession of first place in the NFC East.
Not the night that Mark Sanchez would have hoped for here, and for Jason Garrett, as good as it gets to turn around and watch all these people leaving this building. Right in the middle of the field, right there. Bruce Carter, he is one of the most athletic linebackers there is. They say not as instinctive as Anthony Hitchens, but that takes care of that. And all the stuff about the 8-8s, and you can't have a winning record, and you can't win the big games, and all that stuff goes out the window right now.
It's a nice handshake there from Scott Linehan. A couple of kneel downs will end the game. Next week it's Indianapolis at home, and then on the road, and they'll try to look for a road sweep at Washington. The final week, Philadelphia meanwhile goes to Washington on the train next week, and then to the Giants on the bus the following week.
But this brings everything back into play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
You know, they have a win in hand against the hottest team probably in football in Seattle, or at least they look like that. And this is a team now that you have to recalculate everything that you were thinking about the playoffs going forward, because most people would have assumed after Thanksgiving and the way that the Eagles now playing at home. Look at the Dallas Cowboys sitting on top.
There they are. Tony Romo, of course, has done the job. Nick Foles is going to go for an X-ray tomorrow to take a look at his left shoulder, the non-throwing shoulder. Don't know when he can come back. First of all, he's got to get the X-ray has to look better than it has the last time they took one. Have to see that it's healed, and then who knows about Foles and when or if Foles can come back before the end of the regular season or into the playoffs if the Eagles get there. So that's going to do it. We go from 21-0 Dallas to 24-21 Philadelphia to a final score of 38 to 27 Cowboys. Des Bryant with 3 touchdown receptions. DeMarco Murray goes in for 2 scores. Romo throws for 265, 3 TDs, no picks. Bryant has a great night, 6 catches for 114. Fletcher has a pretty bad night. 38-27 the final score. Coming up next, the Volkswagen postgame report.